The end of the year is upon us, and I just thought we had, a really good year for anime. So I thought on this episode of Heart to Heart, we can do a top 5. My top 5 anime of the year. I've never even done a top 5 before. Well, never really recorded one. I've had top 5s, I guess. Like I said, this year was a great year for anime. I have a couple honorable mentions, and that's actually what I wanted to start with right off the bat. Now looking into it, I'm actually even more torn on is Demon Slayer Season 2. The reason why it's an honorable mention is because I completely forgot about it when making the top 5, if I'm being honest. But now that I'm looking, the reason why I forgot about it is because it started pretty far into 2021. So I don't even know if it's a 2022 anime. But regardless, Demon Slayer is one of the flashiest and probably one of the best looking animes out there right now. Action is incredible. The plot is extremely simple. Characters, honestly, a lot of the characters are extremely simple, like one dimensional. They have one note and they sing that thing every time you see them. But a couple more of the characters are a little more in depth and have more to give than just the one thing. But now we're moving on to the actual list of top 5 animes, starting with number 5. The Rising of Shield Hero Season 2 dropped in April, 13 episodes, and I loved every bit of it. This anime is about a person who gets essentially transported into another world where they are the shield hero. They can only use a shield, like they can't use a sword or a spear or anything. You can only use the shield. There are 4 guardians, and he is one of the 4 guardians who are chosen to defend the world. There's a sword hero, a spear hero, an arrow hero, an arrow hero, and the shield hero, which is him. And over, the episodes and stuff, he gets new powers, new abilities, blah, blah, blah. The thing about the show that is really weird, of course, every anime has to have this really weird just thing to it, where he imprints on his party members and it just makes them his slaves basically, and that's just what they're titled, even though they're basically just his party members. That's just the way they go about it, and it's super fucking weird. And season 1 is pretty wild in itself. And season 2, though it was a lot shorter, was even more brutal. It's not very gory, but on the parts where it chooses to be violent, it's pretty whatever that means. It's cool. If you like fantasy world, magic, dragons, sword shields, all of that stuff, like dark fantasy, it's an isekai. That's like a bunch of animes. I love isekais. It's like, I don't know, I watch a bunch of them. You'll see. So yeah, that's number 5. I don't want to go too much into all these animes, but I want to give a little description about them before moving on to number 4. Overlord Season 4. That was also 13 episodes. And that's another isekai anime actually, where the character gets stuck in another universe, where the last one we talked about, he gets stuck in a book. He's reading a book in the library, gets stuck. Overlord. So basically in the show, this guy is playing an MMORPG, and he's spending the last moments of the game is going to be shut down. The servers are being shut down. So he's spending the last moments in-game admiring some of his accomplishments and kind of talking to some of the NPCs and stuff. But when the game goes offline, it doesn't boot him out like he thinks it's gonna. He actually ends up getting trapped into the game. And all of the NPCs, like his butlers and his henchmen and stuff like that, because he is the overlord. He is extremely, extremely strong. He's got to be the strongest guy in the entire show because he's in a video game. He knows how to be OP. So he has all these henchmen who become a lot more lifelike. And he actually reprograms one of them, of course, to be in love with him before the game shuts down. And then the other ones in the game, where it gets weird is when it's like the one character is like a woman, so it's just funny when she is obsessed with this guy who is this massive skeleton, but really he's just a guy who loves playing MMORPGs, and he's stuck inside of the skeleton body, and so he has to act like he is this overlord character now, because he is this overlord character. So he does not know how to deal with her advances. But that's kind of the cool part about the show, is that he goes from, he's so overpowered so he can basically fight and kill anyone, which he realizes and ends up doing to protect people he cares about. But then he kind of becomes this intense, menacing force, and he's just the main villain of the show essentially. Everyone's trying to defeat him, but at the same time he's also the main hero of the show, and it is just such a fun ride. Obviously at this point the show is very established, with the characters and stuff like that, but there's a big war in this season, so you really see the extent of Ain Zangon's power. The main character is really a villain in season 4. It's amazing. If you want to follow an overpowered mage as he fumbles his way through this video game world while at the same time absolutely annihilating everyone in his path, you will love this show. Let's move on to number 3. Okay, earlier I had mentioned how I was confused because the one anime came out in 2021 and stopped in 2022. Ranking of Kings is the same, except it has 23 episodes. And 11 of them are in 2022. They're close, okay? They're close. And you know what? If you watch the show, you'd know why I'm just putting it in here. Because the main character's awesome. The main character, Benji. What a beautiful, beautiful boy. No one can root against that character. It's impossible. It is impossible to root against such a character. So this is a show where strength means everything. And for Benji, that's a little difficult because he is a giant. His dad is the king. His mom is the queen. And his dad is like massive. Like, he's a giant. He's massive. But Benji is not. He's very small. He's not strong. And he does not speak. And he cannot hear. So basically the entire show, he just makes noises and motions. And characters speak to him. And he reads their lips. And against all odds, he is able to just go from everyone being against him. And everyone rallies up and they realized, Benji knows. And Benji works extremely hard to achieve his goals in this show. It definitely starts off very lighthearted, like the first 4 or 5 episodes. There are 23, so you got to give it some time. But once it hits that, you'll know. Once it hits that point when the whole tone shifts, you're like, okay, well, I can get behind this. And then he starts to train, and you start to realize where his true power lies. And you'd even be surprised at how they make it epic. And even with the art style, it's not kind of, well, I would say it's a unique art style. It might not be for everyone, but it fits the show so well. This anime really knows how to pull on your heartstrings with everything, with the plot, with the characters. It is so adorably fun, and it is also epic. Like, it has great action as well. All of that combined into being easily one of the best animes of 2021 and 2022. There is one thing about the show that drove me crazy at the end that makes everything fucking really weird, and I don't know why they have to add the thing at the end where I can't even really say it because it's kind of a spoiler. But just know, at the very end of this anime, a weird thing happens and it's stupid. I don't know why it happens. Anyways, if you want to watch an anime where you can root for the main character against all odds and just, you will fall madly in love with this character. If you don't, you have no heart. Then you should watch Ranking of Kings. Now, before we hit our number 2 spot here, I think it's time we knock off another honorable mention. Honorable mention goes to My Hero Academia, the newest season. I think it's season 6. See, I don't even know what season it is. Yeah, season 6. So that should tell you right there. I fell off with this anime, but my buddy told me that season 6 would be really good. I don't even know if I watched season 5, to be completely honest. It's a very fun superhero anime where the powers that all the characters have are honestly really unique. And you'll definitely find a character that you like and that you want to root for and that you'll be able to say is your favorite character, even if it's the main character. It has a ton of, normal anime tropes. One of the reasons why it's not in the actual list is because I fell off with the anime. But this is a war season. Every single episode is a banger. Every single episode is action, except the last episode is coming out on New Year's Eve. So it's also not really fair that I even put it on a list, right? Because I won't be able to watch the full season. And I want to do this now, so that's how it's going to be. The next honorable mention actually hurts me. It is the new season of Bleach 1000 Year War Blood arc. As you can tell, there's a lot of war going on in my lists. But Bleach is one of the big 3 animes, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and it's making a comeback. It's decided it's going to animate its final chapters of the manga into a final season that broke into 2 parts. Part 1 was so good, but I feel like it is a lot of nostalgia for me because I absolutely love Bleach. Loved Bleach. But seeing it come back made me extremely happy. The new season is visually stunning in every single episode. It is very bloody. The blood in the title is not deceiving. It is very bloody right off the bat. And it's amazing and I love it, but I want to give other animes a chance to shine here. So I'm going to put Bleach in an honorable mention. If you want to watch a good anime, watch Bleach. Let's get back to the list. Let's move on to number 2. Anime that I just finished the other day that I just did a heart-to-heart on, Chainsaw Man. Now, Chainsaw Man is a much shorter one, only 11 episodes, but it makes every episode very intense. They know how to make a cliffhanger, let me tell you. Every single episode leaves on such a big hook that you just are like, yeah, reel me in, baby, let's go. It is bloody, it is fast-paced, it is beautiful. Mappa does a fantastic job. I have no idea how they keep animating all of these animes, and they're all so gorgeous. This is another anime where it takes a wild turn like halfway through, and it just changes the whole tone of the show in such a good way that I just was not expecting. I just was not expecting Chainsaw Man to be what it was. You see a guy with a chainsaw on his head and a chainsaw on his hands, and you're like, wow, he's gonna cut people. But you don't realize that other people are gonna also cut people, because though our main character made a deal with the devil, the chainsaw devil, so that he can pull a ripcord from his chest and pull chainsaws out, other people made deals with devils, like let's say the ghost devil, where it's like the character has a little ghost arm that other people can't see, or they can reach out and grab you, and the powers that the devils have that they make, like that the other characters have in this show, are awesome. And it's really funny. It's a funny anime. And you don't really hear that a lot. Well, not from me, because I don't watch anime for funny. I watch it for, as you like, every anime that I've mentioned so far has a ton of action in it. And that's kind of why I watch it. I watch it for action. I watch it for a lot of the gore. There's just so much you can do with it, right? And this anime is right up my alley, perfect for me. This is also another anime that does weird stuff. There's always got to be one thing that's a weird thing. And this is also kind of a spoiler, because it's one of the funniest parts in the show, but then also you're kind of like, okay, I don't, they gotta just be weird all the time. I don't know why. If you want to watch a fast-paced bloodbath with characters that'll make you laugh while also making your jaw hit the floor, Chainsaw Man is the one for you. Final anime, number 1. And it is extremely similar to Chainsaw Man in a lot of its attributes, but this anime is extremely unique in its style, in its plot, and the soundtrack is, oh my god, beautiful. My number 1 anime of the year, easily, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. This anime made me cry. It got me going. It got me hyped as fuck. It's 10 episodes, and I wish it was longer, because that's kind of one of the things about it, is that I really do wish it was a couple episodes longer to kind of extend some of the development and just to give me more, really. But this is another one where every single episode counts. It is extremely fast paced. I think in the first episode, it's a little too quick paced with the main characters, how he, with his backstory establishment, I think is a little too fast. But again, they only had 10 episodes. They must have only been, I don't know, contracted at 10 episodes or something, because they fly through that pretty quick. There's another gory one, but in the world of cyberpunk, things are a little bit different. They have, cyber augments like robot arms and robot eyes so that they can see farther, the super strength with the arms, or maybe they even have little whips designed into the wrists. They got jets on their shoes, but they all still have hearts. They all still have blood. Blowing one of their heads off is gonna kill them. Blowing a hole in their chest is gonna kill them. And adding too many augments on your body can bring about an illness of cyber psychosis, which basically makes you turn into a killing machine, essentially. You are no longer human. You are more machine than human. You go on a killing rampage. And that's kind of like an overhanging thing throughout the whole show. And you follow a main character who starts off as one thing, and his development just goes in this wild direction that you just absolutely love. Another character you just can't root against. Even when he's making some very bad decisions, you're still there. You're still there with him, telling him, let's go. Now, it's called Cyberpunk Edgerunners because being an edge runner is what the main character becomes is basically being an outlaw. That's the way he makes his money. That's the way he lives his life. That's how he gets into his crew. You meet his friends. Every character has their own arc, their own development, and it's within episodes. You know what I mean? It's within a couple episodes. They give you a satisfying conclusion to characters and stuff like that, while at the same time just ripping your heart out every couple episodes. And just going, you're just making you more machine. This show makes you more machine at the end because you're going to cry so much while also wanting everyone to kill each other and stuff. I don't know. It's wild what this show does to you. This show made me want to play Cyberpunk, which I had no interest in playing at all. So that should tell you something too. This show is a futuristic, emotional ride with a beautiful symphony to back it up, with amazing characters, fantastic plot, beautiful art style. The performances of all the actors are phenomenal. Every actor for all my top 5 and all my honorable mentions did a fantastic job. All of these animes were so good. It was extremely hard to choose, but Cyberpunk Edgerunners was without a doubt. I would recommend, even if you don't like anime, I'd recommend that show to you because it's a 10-episode story. It's closed in itself, and if you play the Cyberpunk game, it actually will add a lot to the lore because they added a lot of that lore. They made it canon in the game. So I don't know. It just is, it's awesome. It's so cool what they've done to that show. But that's it. That is it. That's my top 5. I think I'm going to put them over here. I don't know. Maybe I'll put the list over here or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to put them listed the whole time. Why is my voice being weird? Listed the whole time as I'm talking about them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that is this episode of Heart to Heart. That's my top 5 favorite animes of 2022. Oh, it was a great ride. God, those were fucking fantastic shows. I recommend all of them. But I appreciate you clicking on this video out of all the videos out there. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe to see me a little bit more because I'd love to have you around. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Here's to another year of top-notch anime. All right, I'm going to go now. See ya when I see ya. Goodbye.